right, welcome back to Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Vinny.
I'm Dylan.
We was fresh back from Mexico. We both made it through immigration just entirely fine, and now we're going to do some more stock stuff.
And had way too much alcohol. All right. Today we're going to talk about Google doing a stock split. In the past, this has led to some very profitable endeavors. So we're going to see if, this is a solid opportunity, and Vinny's going to walk us through a possible trade.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys enjoy this kind of entertaining stock market content with Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks, by all means, give us a like and subscribe below. We have some fun ideas on how to grow this channel in the near future, so stay tuned for that. We'll get to it.
Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks.
All right. Boom. Google. It's very pricey.
I know, right? It's part of the reason why I was thinking about options trades. How can you make it work?
Exactly. So let's take a look at the obvious details. They announced a stock split after market close on February 1st. It is a 20-for-1.
Aggressive. Pretty big number right there, but $3,000 a share, so it makes perfect sense, I suppose.
It is supposed to take place July 15th, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking at in the past, it seemed obvious that you should just buy as soon as a stock split happens. A stock split has nothing to do in any way, fundamentally or technically. It really shouldn't matter, is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
But for some reason, it does.
Exactly.
The only ones that relate to this on this massive of a scale of company are NVIDIA, Apple, and Tesla. So we're going to look at what happened and see if we should do that.
Yeah.
So this is NVIDIA year chart. All right. Look at this nonsense. That's a pretty solid run up.
Yeah.
You think anything
solid above the moving averages, just trending up. They own nice through like a power stock territory there. It looks like this was RSI headed towards oversold territory, but yeah.
Do you know what awesome fundamental news caused this?
It was a new chip, perhaps.
Nope, had nothing to do with anything. Wow. Stock split.
Exactly.
Right here, they announced the stock split. Now there's a gap up because they actually announced it the previous day, but it was after close. So yeah, it went up. Also, you'll notice double the volume on this day of trading. And then what do you know? It ended right here. We had a little bit of a correction as it approached. I want you to notice this is only like, 2 months?
Yeah.
Okay. 23% increase.
You could have been done for the year right there. Earned 23% and just cut it and just going home.
Could have been done for the year. All right. That's a solid, beautiful trade on NVIDIA. Here's Apple. Here's a 2-year chart of Apple because theirs was a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What's the most drastic increase here that you see?
I would say towards that left side of the screen where it once again kind of just had a nice solid time period where just above moving averages there.
Is it like right there?
Yeah, it's a pretty solid move.
That seems the most aggressive to me. Nothing fundamental happened here. Stock split.
Yeah.
So this is they announced it here, or technically the next day, but it was after close. Same thing. Massive gap up. Theirs did not have 2 months. Theirs was slightly over 1 month. It was like July. I have it written down actually. July 30th to August 24th, and then from August 24th to August 31st, it was kind of odd because it went live the 24th, but the shares are split in the 31st. I don't really understand that. Very weird. But look at that sexy increase there in Apple. They have a lot of shares.
Yeah. I know, right?
Weird thing is the volume after the split took place because more people could afford the shares, I would assume.
Yeah.
Exactly. Big rundown, right? That's quite the drop. But just if you sold before it actually went through, you had a 43% increase.
Exactly. Impressive. Impressive. It's
disgusting.
The interesting thing with Google is how much more time they're giving us for this to play out over the next few months. Yeah, I don't know.
That is a variable.
Yeah, that could help us or that could hurt us.
It's going to be very odd. I looked at Tesla because I was trying to think of, I don't want 2 examples. I want 3 because 2 is not a trend, 3 can be a trend. The problem is Tesla is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So take this with a grain of salt. But here's their stock split. Easily the third biggest increase on this entire thing in terms of velocity. We'll zoom in here. Boom, announced after hours after this day here. So really it's the next day. Theirs was like 2 weeks. And in that 2 weeks, also look at the volume the day after. As soon as those shares are more affordable.
Yeah, this one was what, 7 for 1, I think, is what Tesla did.
I think it's somewhere around there.
I think so.
These dollars are not accurate, right? Because obviously the split has gone through. But I remember this. They announced it at like 1,200 and it went to like 2,100.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Wild. The articles will say it was an 81% increase. That's technically not accurate because it actually ended the day before. But that's fine.
Oh, okay. They counted the gap up after hours.
They counted the gap.
Understood.
But,
so you couldn't have traded it and it got all 81%. You just had to.
Yeah, because you had to have been in the day before. But
Understood.
whatever. Still 62% stupid.
Yeah. Absolute insanity. I mean, most things about Tesla stock price are absolute insanity, but yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Here's some added variables. You actually hit it on the head. Google's length of time is very different. Apple, little over a month. NVIDIA, 2 months. Tesla, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Google, 5 months?
Yeah. 6. July.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's definitely going to
5.5 months.
Change some things up. Another issue is 2020 and 2021 were solid years.
Yeah. Whole different market environment.
We're not in the same market environment right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Back in those days, you could do pretty much anything. Your stock was up overnight.
Exactly. Yes. Here is Google. Once again, the gap up on here is quite ridiculous. This is zoomed in, obviously. On that day where the green arrow is, this is all-time highs at the very tip.
Yeah. Interesting thing is that obviously it was in a downtrend before, correction territory with the whole triple Qs and NASDAQ, but it just powered all the way through all the moving averages, and now it looks like it's trying to refine the top of the moving averages there.
It looks like it's trying to refine market fair value, we'll call it, because it's still falling, but we don't know where it's going.
Yeah. So, interesting ways to play this. All right. Obviously this trade would have been a much better trade to take before this was announced. All right. So immediately after this was announced, with such a big move, implied volatility went up, and therefore option prices went up. So it's not nearly as fat a trade as you could make before. The other thing is, Google's share price is astronomically high, right? So it's kind of a tough company to trade from that standpoint. This gives you an opportunity where you can control 100 shares of Google, right? Which would represent what, $300,000.
$300,000
stock, right? You can control that for a few months while you anticipate it going through this kind of phase here. I cut it a little bit short, went to June instead of all the way out to July, as most of the run would have taken place by then. You want to have shorter options.
On some of those examples, they corrected beforehand. So I would agree. I would get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't hold this all the way through. And options get kind of weird when you hold them through a stock split, because all of a sudden, say, you have this one contract and now Google does just 20 for 1, you're going to have 20 options contracts instead of the one. Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with that.
It controls the same amount of dollar value, but still very interesting. So this trade right here, basically, it would cost you $10,000 to open this position at this point, and you'd be able to profit from Google going from 28.50, which is basically where it closed as of this Friday, 28.60, all the way up to 30.50. Right? So if it hits 30.50 by then, you would be able to, basically turn this $10,000 into $20,000. You would double your money.
I'm gonna 30. Okay, so all-time high was 30.32. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're looking for it to basically take out that level and go just a little bit past that.
Right.
Granted, if it does it quicker, it could be more profitable than that. Than if it does it towards the end of your time period as the option. But yeah, that's the idea if you want to outlay cash. Another option you have, if you want to go to the next slide here, is a way you can actually receive a little bit of credit. This is a little bit of a safer options trade, as in basically in this case, instead of betting that Google is going to go up, you're betting that it's not going to drop. All right, it's a little bit
That
different.
is safer because
Yeah.
I don't think it's, even if the market's going down, it's still a big catalyst because fractional shares are pretty huge in today's environment. So more people are going to, at least this more takes place after.
Yeah. So with this options trade right here, you can actually collect almost $5,000 basically upfront by selling a put that's at the money, 28.50, where Google closed basically this past Friday. And you're going to sell a 27, buy another put to 2,700 as kind of an insurance policy in case Google were to have a big sell off. And you get to keep the difference there, which is about $5,000. So as long as Google does not go below 28.50, which is current price right now, and in the next 5 months, 5.5 months, you'd be able to keep this $5,000. Your max loss on something like this would be a 15,000 minus the credit received. So be just over 10,000, 10,250 would be your max loss on a trade like this. Yeah.
Woo!
Not great, but it's got a good percentage of coming through. And unfortunately, like I said, the options with kind of prices exploded a little bit once this was announced, because it's all priced in, right? People know that this is a trade you can make at this point. So
Let me ask you a question here. If it drops below, so the date's 6/17, is it if it drops below 2,700 at any point?
What do you mean at any point? Like it, so the faster it moves lower, the kind of quicker your profit would be eroded there. If that gives you an idea.
Okay.
If it drifts down slowly over time, it wouldn't be quite as bad as if it had a very rapid downward movement.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's because you have to think about the theta value, the time decay value of the option. This was just me doing for the thumbnail.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I feel like I like this one more. What's the max loss on this guy?
Max loss on this one would be 20,000 minus the well, I'm sorry, that'd be a max gain. Max loss would be that $10,000 that you outlay.
Ooh, buddy. All right. Okay.
Yeah, these are big money options. This is not a and the cool thing about spreads is when you're using a spread is that you're not just buying a call contract outright. You're actually selling one as well. So you're a little bit more insulated from the enormous price. Because if actually, if you look at that one right there, if you just wanted to buy the at the money call that was expiring in June, you're talking about $200 per share times the 100 shares. Yeah, exactly. So you're talking about $20,000 option. This is a way of getting into that kind of similar trade for half the price.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's crazy because it's so pricey. Oh, boy.
It is. So I think ultimately long run for them, it was the right move to do a stock split, even though it doesn't make sense on paper, but I think it makes a lot of things
I completely
easier.
agree. Yeah, more people are more likely to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right, guys. Let us know what you think about this in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you.
And if anyone's going to drop some mad cheddar on these trades, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Catch you.